I apologize for the interruption. Thanks for y'all's patience. Some of the co-defendants in the ongoing trial wanted to be out here, so they are out here now. And Mr. Harvey, are we ready with Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want him at the podium or do you want him here seated?
I think at the podium, please. Thank you.
Do you understand that in this indictment, you were initially charged with count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. You were also charged with count 49 in this indictment, which is murder, which carries a sentence of life. You were charged with 2 counts of participation in criminal street gang activity, which was counts 50 and 51, which each carried a sentence of 5 to 20 years. You were initially charged with counts 53 and 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon under Code Section 16-11-133, which each carried a sentence of 15 years consecutive to count 1. And then you were also charged with count 54, which is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which carried a sentence of 5 years consecutive to count 1. Do you understand that that's what you were initially charged with?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
And sentence in accord with the negotiated recommendation. As I said before, find there to be a factual basis for count 1 of the plea. I find the plea to have been freely, knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered into by Mr. Nichols with an understanding of the consequences of doing that. And the sentence on count 1 is the sentence that has been negotiated of 20 years to serve 7 with the balance of those years to be served on probation. And that, I don't know if there are any special conditions attached to this that y'all have talked about at all.
There are no negotiated special conditions in those, so there are none as far as I'm concerned.
All right. No. Okay. So with regard to the time that you are on probation, you need to stay out of all kinds of criminal trouble. Make this a birthday present to yourself and to your children and to your wife and family, that you will leave from here today and leave whatever you used to do behind you. And
story this half hour, one of the defendants standing trial in the YSL RICO gang case against Young Thug and his alleged associates. That person's accepted a plea deal in what's become the longest criminal trial in state history. Channel 2's Michael Seiden live outside the Fulton County Courthouse today. So, Michael, this plea deal comes after days of negotiations.
Yeah, you know, Justin, for nearly a week, we've been reporting on those back and forth negotiations between those 6 defendants and the district attorney's office. And today, one of those defendants actually agreed to a plea deal. Let me take you back inside the courtroom. We were inside the courtroom when Quamarvius Nichols entered his guilty plea. Now, as part of the plea deal, the state agreed to dismiss several charges against him, including murder, gang, and weapons charges. Again, he agreed to plead guilty to just 1 count of violating the state's RICO Act. Now, Judge Paige Reese Whitaker sentenced Nichols to 20 years to serve 7, which means he could serve 7 years in prison and then the remaining balance on probation. He'll also get credit for already serving 3 years. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the defendants and their plea deals? We are told that those negotiations are ongoing. As far as what's next in the trial, you remember Judge Whitaker, she still has to rule on that motion for a mistrial. She has not ruled on that yet. It's unclear when she'll rule on that. And as we were leaving court today, we were trying to talk to some of the attorneys as well as the prosecution, trying to find out what the plan is going forward. They were just told that attorneys need to be back at court at 9 o'clock. We are not sure if the jury will be back here tomorrow, if there'll be another plea deal. So kind of this is still ongoing. Again, we have not heard testimony since last Wednesday, but we will keep you posted on all the new developments.
Yo, 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 it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in, and the way that it's going and looking, I think it's pretty much safe to say at this point that the YSL State RICO case in Georgia is now finna be officially over. And I had a links in the description where you can watch the clips in the beginning in full at from Law and Crime Network inside of the courtroom. It was a lot more that was said. You know, when they do these plea deals, they got to read so much, but I just got the main parts and things that they agreed to and not agreed to, but the overall gist was right there. And also WSB TV reporting outside of the courtroom in real time as everything broke into the news today. Well, they said one of the people that's a co-defendant on the trial with one Young Thug, 1 out of 6, Quay Nichols, took his guilty plea, only has one charge that he's serving time for. 20-year sentence with 7 to serve in this situation. Now, he was looking at life and then some at first, because he was going to get the life if possible. If he would have been convicted of everything, he would have had the life sentence, and everything else would have ran consecutive. Meaning I would have had to do this, and that. Convicted felon with a firearm, murder charge, but they came in, and as they said in the courtroom today, the way that this long trial has been, everything that's been happening, they said we in a situation now, it's time to go ahead and end this. They've been in a negotiation with these pleas going back and forth for the last almost week now, as y'all heard right there as well. But him doing this time, he already getting some served. He'll probably be looking at about 3.5 to 4.5 years when it's all said and done. Then after that, he just got to stay out of trouble. And as she told him directly right there in real time, take this as a birthday gift. He's married, children, everything like that. Hey, this right here is on him now at this point in time. Whatever you had going on before. Nah, everything else with the other people, they have not pled guilty yet. They got court again tomorrow, but the plea deals is already going back and forth with them as well. Ever since that motion for the mistrial got put in last week, that right there was officially the breaking point. It's been looking real shaky, the way that everything got played out in the courtroom. I think we can all agree that this has been real chaotic in real time, and we seeing it every day. If you watch every day on the internet as they are streaming, but where it's at now with the state, the way they handling things, we didn't see people go to jail and everything of the sort. It seemed like everybody gonna be coming home. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people might not wanna take a guilty plea and things like that. He took his. The other people that have already pled guilty, they pled guilty to this, that. If you pled guilty to it, that means you did it. It is what it is. No matter if you didn't do it or not, documentation-wise, you did it. But him, he's not saying that this is a game. He's not saying this. He's taking one charge on this, and he can move forward. I'll tell you like this, bro. He got to really go out here and take care of business and stay out these people's way. Because you get to walk out this courtroom today, get a second chance at this, got to serve that little time, but he will eventually come home. But when you come home, one thing they going to guarantee, yeah, you ain't got to serve all this time. You have to handle all the probation protocol and all that. It's going to be a lot. Hey, you're going to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. One thing they ain't going to never run out of is a bed in the cot where they can lock you up at. Time for boys to go ahead and get real. Take care of them kids, take care of your loved ones, your family, the people that care about you. Because the one thing they going to always have is a bed and somewhere that they can lock you in at. That's just the system, bro. We didn't create the system. We don't control the system. We don't own the system. And if you get trapped up in that system going to keep on systeming, and it's going to systeming, and it ain't going to stop systeming for nothing. The system going to be systeming after we are gone. Just know that for any of us here. So we got to do our best to just look at that as the system and stay out of the system. Tell me what y'all think. Young Thug and them, they going to have theirs. I'm pretty sure theirs going to be really settled tomorrow as well. So we shall see. Tell me what y'all think. More coming, more videos, all that. 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.